Hi everybody. So today I'm going to be walking you through what's in my beauty care routine and why, not just for makeup but for skincare as well. Today is actually a makeup free day for me. I have been trying to take like at least 1 or 2 days a week where I just don't have anything on my face. So that's what you're seeing right now. My apologies. But I'm going to walk you through what I have, how often I use it, and some stuff that just totally has not worked for me. Again, these are just my experiences, my purchases, and what I think about them. If you have a different experience, that's okay. It could be that something is just a little bit more successful with your skin type, things like that. So thank you for joining me today. I'm going to go ahead and get started. So the first thing today we're going to talk about is sponges. This is a beauty blender. It's a little bit worse for wear, and this is a dupe for basically the same sponge. They come in packs of 3 like this. They are, I think that these are actually from like Five Below or, a discount store. And unfortunately, the beauty blenders are amazing. I think that they do technically work the best, but there's definitely a way where you can make like the product application look just as good with this. I'm going to try and get this to show up on screen, but it might not work. This one is just a little bit more easy to squeeze, a little bit more easy to manipulate, and some of that comes with the age of the sponge and stuff like that. This one is 6 months, 8 months old, not quite sure. And then this one is just a little bit more, there's more tenacity and more like pushback. This is just a stronger sponge. So if you do go with these or something similar, they come with, these have like the same teardrop shape. Obviously they need to be cleaned. And I think I'm going to show you how to do that today and what I've had success with for cleaning brushes and why. I've seen a lot of people using some very different things that are not skin safe, and unfortunately when you're putting your brushes into stuff to clean them and then you're putting the brushes back on your face, you want to make sure that everything you're using in your skincare, makeup routine, body care routine is going to be skin safe for you to be able to use it again. There are just the tapered different corners, different good for different things. You can really, with the smaller points here, you can definitely get in under the eye area or into the smaller creases in your eye if you're going to do like a really elaborate eye look. So that's just a quick summation of why I think that these are really good. Beauty blenders are, let me look up the price really quick. So just double checking, at the moment the original beauty blenders from like Sephora, Ulta, things like that go for about $20 to $25. I forgot they actually do have like Beauty Blender came out with their own line of foundation and things not that long ago. I actually haven't purchased any of that, but it looks as if the Beauty Blender Bounce Liquid goes for approximately $20 as well. It comes in silver and clear packaging. So basically the difference is that this one is $20 on its own for a single sponge. The kits here, this one's like $5 for the bag. So there are ways to get it to be, the purpose of a makeup sponge as opposed to using a brush for your foundation is that your application is just going to be a lot smoother if you're not like swiping and like going down like streaks with this. You're basically like just kind of pressing it, like bouncing it literally on your face, so that all of your product that you've put on goes directly into your pores. And This is really effective for things like primer, to make sure that you get this good even base surface on which to put your makeup. It's great for if you're doing color corrector, for, you know, if you have like a red area or something like that and you're doing a green color corrector for that. This is really good to just make sure it's all the way into your pores, get this nice even surface. And then I also use sponges for powder application. So if you're using like your powder to kind of lock all the foundation in, it really does give you like that very smooth, even, to get everything smooth and even is really the goal. Because unfortunately we all have either one or two spots on our faces where like we're aware of all of our beauty marks, or I've had issues where like there are certain parts of my face that just don't hold makeup as well, so I'll be like going on throughout my day, you know, 6 or 8 hours into after makeup application, and I'll be like, oh, what is this area? And I think, you know, everybody has, just, we're all so self-aware of what our problem areas are, so there are solutions to each and every one of those. So that's the Medusa sponges and how they compare to Beauty Blender. Again, basically, the Medusa sponges are just a little bit, I guess I would say, tougher to manipulate, but they are, I would say that they're a really good cost-effective thing where you don't have to go to a beauty store specifically to buy them, whereas Beauty Blender you do. Medusa sponges you can get from, I believe, Walmart, Five Below, Job Lot, places like that around here. So in terms of what I use for foundation itself, I did go over this briefly in my last live video, but just for everybody who wasn't able to make it to that, I'll gladly say it again. So this is the Neutrogena Hydro Boost Hydrating Tint. I essentially use this as my first foundation on my face. I can show you. This one has an applicator, which sometimes is good, sometimes it's annoying. It's basically, I say it's annoying because it's like you can't really get a sponge in there if you wanted to. You would have to like really manipulate the product to get it out onto like a makeup palette. If you're going, you know, back and forth like that. So this is the Hydrating Boost, Hydrating Tint, Hyaluronic Acid. This one, it says moisturizer and plumping. It really does give you like a luminescent, I would say this one's really good at giving you like a great glow underneath. The problem I do have with this is that it doesn't really act as a foundation on its own. It's basically just like a super sheer. I would say at best, if you use this on your own, on its own, you could maybe get it to medium coverage. And that's not something that I'm usually looking for. Like I usually want my foundation to be foundation, if you know what I mean. So I will, in order, I'll basically do my skincare routine first thing in the morning, and like last thing at night. But yeah, so before you put your makeup on, you do moisturizer, you do any other skincare routine that you think that you need, if it's a face mask, whatever. And this would basically go on top of your moisturizer, but for me it goes under my regular foundation. I do find that for some reason, I'm not sure if this is super common, but Neutrogena for me does have like a color, I think just like the way it oxidizes for some reason. If I use Neutrogena on its own and I don't blend it together, then sometimes it's just too, it does kind of turn me from olive to a little bit more orange, so please be just aware of that. Again, that's just my experience, and there are ways to counteract that. If you know that something oxidizes, you can kind of like get ahead of it, and do color correction underneath it, because it's not a bad product. It's really, really good for the price point. It's Neutrogena is available CVS, drugstore, and they do some really good things. I don't have any right now, but they have this really unique way that they market, like this is their hazel eye eyeliner, this is their blue eye eyeliner, it's just sort of like whatever color your eyes are, there's like a whole breakdown of like, these are your maroon shades, or hazel eyes look great with like, you know, green flecks and things like that. So it really does highlight, for somebody who might not know where to start with makeup, it's super user-friendly to go, okay, yep, I don't know what my skin type is, but I know for a fact that I have blue eyes, so I'm going to start in this row. And it's very, I would say that there aren't a lot of drugstore companies that have specific marketing like that to brown eyes or hazel eyes, and I think that's really, I feel like Neutrogena and Rimmel, the Rimmel London line, are two of my favorite drugstore brands. So, that being said, my foundations that I'm using are, I have the NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop foundations. This is 2 of the shades. I actually have 4 different colors of these, which I use for different contouring purposes. This is light, and then this is true beige. I do actually have, in my other video I swatched them, but today I'm just talking about what I like about the formula. This really is, I put on typically like 2 layers of foundation, sometimes 3, and I think that this is a really great full coverage product. They really know what they're doing. It's, I got these actually on sale, and I think that it was just close to expiration or something like that, but I haven't had any issues with that. If you're not aware, there are, you know, there's a shelf life, stable shelf life for things, and by which like people have to get rid of them, stores have to get rid of them, and then they get them out to the consumer. They basically mark them down so that they can put the new products out. And for me, foundation for me doesn't usually last long, so it's something that I will go through really quickly, and I'm not usually too worried about the age of the bottle itself. So what I'll do is I tend to use the lighter makeup here. I use true beige kind of in and around that, and then I'll do like my darkest shade right here to do like that super defined cheekbone area. Yeah, this one is very good full coverage. I would say this is, I've been really pleasantly surprised with how good they are. And I believe I purchased them from Kohl's, but you can get them online as well. I think I'm gonna try and do all the makeup together, and then I'll do the skincare afterward. So I have, I know I mentioned color corrector once already. What I use for that personally on days where I wake up and I feel like I have a skin irritation, or we all know that feeling where sometimes you wake up with like a hive, or if you're somebody who has like a rosacea flare-up. This is called Sisa Pear. This is a green color corrector. So maybe like if you just got your eyebrows waxed and you have some skin redness and you've given that skin the time to breathe and you just really need it to be a little less red because you have somewhere to be. You can see it's not like Crayola green. The glass itself is tinted, but the product itself, this is the product component. It's basically the color of the wall, so it's not going to pick up too well. This you do not need a lot of. It's very good at just, you know, put a brief little dot just where you need it. It does a great job blending in. You can put your foundation on top of it, you won't even see. Basically what I do is if you put your regular moisturizer on, I would do color correcting immediately after. So it would be, I would say, you know, you wait for your moisturizer to set in and then you put this on. I would say wait like 2 to 3 minutes for this to like sit and kind of like settle in on the skin before you then put your foundation on. And you're finished. I can use my powders that I'm going through, and then I'll talk more about eye products. So the two powders I'm really into right now are, I have the Me Maybelline Collection. This color in particular is called Coconut. This is definitely a contour shade for me, or a little bit of a bronzer. This is my cheekbone color, and when I go in like to toast the edges like close to your hairline where you're highlighting the front of your face, you want to kind of like make your face long and lean. What you want to, the quickest way I can summarize contouring in general, I know that it looks, to some people looks really wild, but the whole gist is to like highlight forward the parts of your face that you really do like and kind of minimize anything that you don't want to be in the light. If you're being photographed, it basically gives you the opportunity to say, you can kind of redirect where the light hits your face with something like highlighter, face highlighter powders, or, you know, a shimmer shadow. And really the definition that comes with a matte powder is it's not to be underestimated. So again, this is Maybelline drugstore. I'm not as big of a fan of their eye products, except for, so for Maybelline, I really like their Fit Me line, and then I like their tattoo liner. They have this line of tattoo liners and eyeshadows, and they're basically like 24-hour hold, basically goes on, stays on. That's the tattoo idea. And I haven't really picked up a bunch from them in a long time. I have a couple lip products that I use, but they're stuff that I've used for a long time. And what I did have an issue with is like their product inconsistency from, sometimes I would buy eyeshadows from them and they would be like patchy, where like the color wasn't picking up as well as it did the first time. Or like there would be half of the eyeshadow would be shimmery and the other part wasn't, like it wasn't frosted over the right way in the machine before they sent them out. And unfortunately, when you have people who are trying to get product out as quickly as possible, that's sort of the price you pay sometimes with drugstore, where they're just pumping stuff out nationwide. It's kind of like they don't have the control to say, hey, wait a minute. This is another Neutrogena product. This is the rice protein shine control system. Anything that's in this gray component is their shine control. I have a shine control primer. It's actually packed right now. But this line is really wonderful. I've unfortunately hit pan, but this is still, it's great to lock in your foundation after you've put it on and let everything settle. This is a great baking powder, just to let everything really lock in. And the baking process, if you're not familiar, is you basically put more powder than necessary on your face so that you're able to like do that extreme press in, with the idea that you end up dusting the excess powder off after, but you basically let it sit for as long as humanly possible. Some people bake for like 30 minutes, some people do it for longer or shorter, and it's basically the longer you leave the powder on, the longer that your foundation has a chance to really settle in, really dry, and then you do your misting after you dust the excess powder off. I really like, so it's interesting, I don't love magnetic lashes, but I do love this liner. So this is Ardell. This one is magnetic gel liner in black, and for some reason I really do love the way that the control you can exert over this liner in particular. Even though I still prefer strip lashes, I still prefer glue. I did try lash extensions, and for me, it's just not something that I want to keep up with. They are very expensive to keep up with. And for me, like, I personally, my priority would be like, I would rather have a mani-pedi and I would rather have the ability to get my hair done than to pay $300 for lash extensions. And it is a grueling, not grueling, let's just say it's definitely a commitment because you're having somebody in your face for about 4 hours. It's like 4.5, 4 hours of individual lash placement. And you basically, sorry, I just had to get up to move the cat. He was just meowing and I made sure he has food, he has water, he's just being noisy. So yes, I think that the Ardell Liner, just sort of the consistency, it's more like a black paste. I've actually used this for sort of like those super graphic, high control, like when you're doing defined like straight lines, or if you're doing something elaborate like a Catwoman mask or Batgirl mask or like whatever. These are just from my examples. I do have videos on both Catwoman, Batgirl mask, and Harley Quinn mask. Those are somewhere on my channel if you want to go ahead and check those out later. But what I do is I will get a gel liner, because this will sit in, and like if you put this down on your face and then you put like really press black eyeshadow in to kind of like totally fully lock it in, it's a great way to get theater makeup without purchasing theater makeup, which can be quite expensive. So Ardell, again, you can kind of get through the section of your drugstore that has like the press-on nails, the strip lashes, and see, it's nothing against. So the problem that I have personally with magnetic lashes is that it seems like one magnet always gives up much sooner than the others. If you've never picked up magnetic lashes before, typically they are a strip lash, so sort of a curve piece here, and they'll put like one magnet here, one magnet here, and kind of like there's about 3 to 4 magnets, sometimes like one right in the middle and the end here. And it's really just, the only way I can say it is that it's always either the end that gives up, or typically for me, maybe because of my eye shape, it's always the inner corner that just gives up first. So it's almost like you can start with a magnetic lash, sure, but then at some point you have to put lash glue on them anyways. And like, it's basically just the stuff that you learn the hard way. Like if you're wearing false lashes, you don't want to leave the house without extra lash glue. If you're wearing press-on nails, these are actually painted today, but if you do have press-on nails, you don't want to leave the house without the extra nail glue, just in case you like catch it on the door, or you go to like fix your hair and for some reason just the tip of something catches. So you want to take the glue out with you at least, just so that you can reapply as needed. Same as like a lot of people have like a purse mascara or a purse concealer. If you're just doing touch-ups at home, touch-ups on the go, rather than carrying like your whole home kit with you. And so this is, again, super cost effective. This is the Iced collection from LA Colors. It is a pressed powder that, this one's called Gleam. It's sort of a midnight blue. I don't know if that'll pick up. It's actually not too dissimilar from my nail color, the way it shows up, and then it's super metallic. So these come with a sort of like a shaker, like a condiment shaker. You can put as much or as little as you want onto your brush. The idea is that you put your product here, you kind of do a little bit of a shake, it goes into the lid, and then you can just put your brush into the lid to control. It is super pigmented, so that's why it makes today's list. I like using that with a wet brush to really apply like that blue strongly. If you're not aware, if you wet your makeup brush, it basically kind of, you know, just even just like a little bit of dampness can help. It'll hug the brush and it'll hug your skin better, just a little bit, to kind of like really evenly put that down. It won't be like patchy. This is actually also in the blue color family. This is the Milani Stay Put Matte. This one is marketing itself as a 17-hour wear liquid liner. I haven't tested that, but this is, yeah, shade 04 Midnight Matte. This is a really good liquid product. And I'm gonna move it just a little bit closer so you can see this is Milani. Milani is a drugstore brand. They have, I'm trying to think of, a lot of their glosses are good, but I'm not really like a big lip gloss person as a rule. They do have some really pigmented, like if you're looking for something in the color family of like a super silver eyeshadow or a super copper eyeshadow, like that's where I would look first. They're really, really good at their metallics and sort of like the unexpected color families. That's where you would find like Milani is pretty decent at that. And this is the applicator. If you have a little bit of trouble like getting your eyeliner to stay straight, don't feel bad about like using the Scotch tape trick, or there's a lot of other products that basically do the same thing. They're more closely designed for face. Their names are escaping me right now, but if you look at like eyeshadow, iPad, but you know, sort of under eye area eyeshadow applicator pads, I'm sure you could find them on Amazon and other places online with little to no issue, and those are just a little bit more designed for skin. Scotch tape as a rule is a skin safe thing, just like Elmer's glue is safe. All these things that are school safe for kids to use, they're definitely safe for your skin. And what am I going to talk about next? I'm going to save, I have actually 2 perfumes I'm going to talk about, I think, last. So I'm going to move into skincare a little bit. This is a mask stick I like. This is sort of a fluke thing I purchased. It's a little bit gimmicky. It came in a pack of 2, actually, so I do have the other one here still wrapped. This is just a green mask stick. I think that this was something I purchased on TikTok or something. So 2 for $7 or something like that. It was really, really inexpensive. Definitely under $10. I use this maybe like once a week or every 2 weeks. This is basically a green tea matcha infused product. It does have, on the carton, it has what it has in it, how to use. So basically you put this on after cleansing and toning, put the product on for 10 to 15 minutes, avoiding the eye and mouth area, and then rinse with water after. So this is great to use. I like to use it before a shower, so you have that moment to kind of have everything sink in, and then when you steam it off with the hot water in the shower, it really like gives you that soft, beautiful skin feeling that you'd like to have. And this one basically has everything in here is like leaf extract. There is a little bit of a colorant in here just for that green, but they do have, its first ingredient is water, a little bit of glycerin, so unfortunately it's not vegan, and green tea oil control is how they're really packing that punch in. So that's that. These are Green Mask Stick by Median is the name. And I have, this is actually from Groupon. This is, I'm hoping that this video doesn't get flagged, but this is a CBD product. Simplistic. It is unfortunately, you can see even by the label, it's a little bit well used. This is a full spectrum roll-on cream with CBD in it. This also came in a pack of 2 from Groupon, and I gave the other one to my friend for her pain management. She suffers from migraines and vertigo. This is excellent for on the go whenever you can't really have that moment of like, I really need to massage this muscle, or I really need to pull out, you know, a lidocaine patch or something like that. So these are really, really good for, like, I'll put these on my wrist sometimes. I tend to have issues on my left shoulder blade area, really like in and around this whole section, honestly. For some reason, it's just the left side for me. It's a bummer. So you can use this with other massage oils if you wanted to like put the material in. It does have a roller ball, so sort of like, you know, a roller deodorant or something would have, but you can unscrew that and go from there. This one has 500 milligrams in it, and it goes through, I believe this one has like, you know, a stronger or a lighter. I think this is sort of like their middle roll on. So the other one I think is like 250, and the other one's on the other side is like, yeah. So I might be misspeaking on that. If you, unfortunately, because Groupon things kind of come and go, so this one might not be available, but I'm sure that there's a similar product kind of taking its place. So this is great. Also on headache days for me, I'll put it on my temple, sort of like right here. Even though it's not a specifically face product, it's definitely face safe. So I'll put it on, kind of roll it on, chill in the dark until my headache's over, kind of just give myself that half hour stress-free, put meditation music on. Sometimes if it turns into an hour or turns into 90 minutes, that's okay. I think that my next couple products are all Olay products. So I'm going to talk about these 2 jars here. And this is the Olay Regenerist Max Serum. This is, I think it's marketed as a wrinkle serum, but the most important thing you can do for yourself is start your skincare early in life, because some people start their skincare later on in life after they already have wrinkles. So a lot of this stuff is designed to do wrinkle prevention. I know that right now, even at 28, definitely younger, I would be like, well, why would I want to pick that up? That's for wrinkles, but it's for wrinkle prevention. So if you can kind of untie that part of your brain, it's for rejuvenation. It's for like making sure your wrinkles don't develop and don't get worse than they already are. So if you have like a fine line somewhere, unfortunately, I definitely have like a couple forehead lines. And I tend to have like just a little bit here around my nose. It's like a really dry area for me. So basically to make sure that things don't dry, crease worse than they already have. I do have really, I think because my eyebrows are so expressive, it kind of like my forehead muscles are just, anyway. So the Max Wrinkle Serum actually goes on underneath your moisturizer like I did today. This is so it says apply Olay serum to your face and neck before your moisturizer and watch your skin transform. Basically, there's no time frame of how to leave it on. You leave it on as long as you leave your moisturizer on and then shower it off later on. I tend to do this most frequently at night or like a day where I'm not going anywhere, so you can kind of like be your happy little face care self and not worry about that too much. This is the Olay Regenerous Whipped Cream. This does have SPF in it. It's an SPF 25. So great for if you're gonna be in and outside. Definitely you want to have something with SPF in it if you're somebody who works outside a lot. If you're gardening a lot, anything like that, you want to make sure you have a good face cream to go with that and really like let your skin soak this in. This one is definitely, the consistency is like super, super light. It's almost Cool Whip looking. And the original formula, I can show you in just a second. So this is like, they are twins. This one's a daytime, this one's a nighttime. Jonathan Van Ness from everywhere, from his YouTube channel and from the Fab Five there. Oh my god, I can't remember right this next. From Queer Eye, thank you. Really almost missed that completely. I love him, and he actually recommends, he's primarily a hair person, but he was giving people recommendations on like how to do skincare. And Olay Regenerist product line came up. So this is the Retinol 24. Basically looks the same, but it definitely is a little bit more, I wish I could, I know I'm showing you, like you can see it through the camera, but it's got like a little bit more of like a pudding sort of consistency. Like if you think of like the way like a key lime pie is, it's sort of what it feels like when you go to grab it. So it is just a little bit heavier. The idea is that, you know, again, because you don't have to worry about what you look like at the end of the night, you're just tucking yourself into bed. So the idea is like, put the heavier product on before bed. My mom used to use Eucerin products, which has, they're really, really great, but they have a lot of lanolin, so it's like the sheep's, again, unfortunately it's not a vegan product, so don't go looking for it if you're only interested in vegan. And that is just like, that's the epitome of like the thickest of the thick. It's basically a Vaseline equivalent. And then this is my roller. This is great because this one's rose quartz. You can get them in all other kinds, different colors. I think that there's metal ones too. Actually, I know that there are. I like to put this in the refrigerator, and you can kind of like get in and roll your product on. This is basically how it's my preferred method anyway for putting moisturizer on my face. It really just evenly applies everything. It feels so satisfying, and the cold tool will help reduce inflammation from your other, it'll help you relieve the stress from the day. It'll take the stress out of those muscles. And it's also a great idea to help like soothe you to sleep. And so that's it for skincare and makeup. The last thing that I want to mention are these Elizabeth and James products. They're both from their Nirvana line. Elizabeth and James is one of the many lines run by Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen. These were purchased at Kohl's, but you can get them, you can see there, it's unfortunately a little bit difficult to read, but you can get them online. These are respectively, this one's rose, and this one is Nirvana bourbon. So this one's like this deep, beautiful smell, and this one, I really don't wear a lot of floral stuff. I feel like I got overly into like the Bath and Body Works like Sweet Pea and like stuff like that. I feel like I really knocked that out of the park when I was young, wearing like stupid shit like vanilla. Just like these overly populated, overly pungent smells that I'm kind of like, I smell stuff that's overly floral now, or overly like sickeningly sweet like vanilla smells, and I'll just like start like, it's just so off-putting to me because I so overdid it before. And I'm hoping that, I really hope that that doesn't offend too many people. It's just that that's my experience. I spent so long in like the early 90s, pushed everything was like bubblegum scented or cotton candy scented, or like I think sweet pea or like fresh cucumber melon was another one where like the melon smell really was the overpowering one, because cucumber melon or cucumber mint is not a bad thing. It's just, so just really quickly I'm going to spray these and kind of give you my 1-2 on how they're different. I really do like both of these, but the bourbon bottle gets used a lot more. And that's what surprised me about this floral. This rose one is more It's definitely rose oil that they used. Like, it doesn't have a lot of notes in it, so I'm going to just do my best to say that it's like an antique rose smell. So it's not like, I think of it more as like an heirloom rose as opposed to what you might find, like what you might traditionally think of as like a long stem rose from the grocery store, like this sort of like overgrown, overly curated rose. You're looking at like a more mature rose that's already, the roses that grow like wider. Everything's escaping my brain today for some reason, but I do know a fair amount about rose gardening. It's a video for a different day. And it does sort of give you like, it's reminiscent of like, for me, it's, I'm gonna pause this really quick while I think about what my sentence is supposed to be. Hang on. All right, so my goal with getting that across is that it doesn't smell, it basically makes you feel like it's an indulgent, it's a luxurious smell. And for me, it definitely reminds me of like some of the, like when you're little and you run up and hug like your favorite aunt or something. And this is really like one of those smells that makes you feel like really at home. It makes you feel like it's a mature smell. And it's definitely like something that like this would be great to spray in your hair on a first date. I would go in this direction. And the bourbon, so nice. So this bourbon one is, it goes through like bourbon family. So like that deep, earthy, woodsy. This one actually comes across really well as like that leather sort of smell. It's kind of like toes that line between like this could theoretically be like a unisex product. It kind of toes the line between traditionally feminine, traditionally masculine smells. It marries together like, I want to say sandalwood, but I don't mean sandalwood. It kind of ties in and hits the same notes for me as like a frankincense would. This is more of like, I would say, whereas like this is more like first date sort of things, I would say for me this is a lot more mature of like, this is going out to a dinner club, or this is like put this on your lapel before an interview, or something a little bit more like where like you need that confidence boost. This is it for me. So the only thing that I really under any circumstances do not recommend are these guys. So I've been on the lookout for like a really good makeup remover. I do actually have one that I love, but it's from an MLM. So I'm trying to like, I'm really trying not to do like too much in the way of MLMs because they are overpriced. They don't treat their employees well. I don't want to get too much into that if you're watching this, you know, and already have like a Mary Kay or an Avon party planned. Don't take my word as gospel. And I just feel like, especially during a pandemic, like one of the last things I would want is to have somebody inconvenience themselves, lug all these products, and like go in and out of people's homes where like you're not really sure how safe they've handled the pandemic. Just them as like the customer, and I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm just going through the variables here. So my favorite one ever is from Mary Kay. My least favorite one is this. So the Neutrogena Wipes come in like this powder blue package, and this one is Equate Beauty. This one's the Walmart brand. This one is not a dupe for anything. So I think what their mistake is here is they have pink grapefruit in them, and pink grapefruit is very, it can be a drying element. So for me, like I have combination skin. This one, it's, I don't know. So this is basically, do not mistake this for a makeup remover, because if you do use it as a makeup removing product, it will take you like 4 towelettes and these. Like, I know that these are a little bit self-explanatory, but basically, like, today, I don't have a ton of makeup on, but I do have a little bit of, I have mascara on my hand for some reason. So, if you see this, it's like a stripe right on my thumb muscle. Wipe, 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 wipe. And there's still, like, I don't know that they'll pick up on camera, but there's definitely, like, a lot of flecks. It basically turns it from, like, a definite line into pinstripes, and then to get all the pinstripe dots off, you'd have to use new white. These are overly astringent. The grapefruit smell is crazy. And unless you're, like, I can see, we all love convenient products, right? So wipes are great for if you have a lot of body glitter, you have a lot of body makeup, and you've done like any type of substantial contouring, especially if you're contouring your collarbones, if you're contouring your neck. It's basically like whatever you can do to get it off is great. But I would say for me, I prefer like stuff that isn't oil free. I would much rather have like something with grapeseed oil, avocado oil, because it really just gets the job done. I like using the Sally Hansen Azulene oil, which is just like this blue oil that's primarily marketed as like an after wax, but it is so satisfying on the skin. I recommend using that to almost everybody I meet. And you can get that in like their wax strip kits, either for eyebrow waxing or like the body waxing ones. And those are also definitely drugstore. So thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope that some of this has been useful, and you know, if you need some other tips or tricks, please go ahead and let me know. I have some other content that I'm actually uploading today that is more specific to like holistic stuff. It's tarot related, it's sound bowls, it's basically the other version of a live video I did yesterday. So what I do right now is I have a live video series I've been working on with my friend Rochelle, where she'll read a meditation. We've been dedicating different things, like different topics will be dedicated to each episode, but the overarching theme is to basically like really, it's the inner Lucian group that is, rather than like a New Year's resolution or trying to do like a huge revolution, it's basically the idea is that you're benefiting change for yourself, so that you can provide outward a little bit better. So it's basically putting the spotlight back on you, not in like a superficial way, but basically in like, okay, the ability to self-assess and say like, do I need to indulge a little bit more today? Is there something that I've been thinking about for a long time that I need to put like pedal to the metal on? How do I get there? Figuring that part out as well. And so yeah, if you're interested in kind of learning a little bit more about like what journaling can do for you, what sound healing can do for you, and how to cleanse your crystals, how to, there's a card reading at the end, so I'd recommend watching the video all the way through. And there is a giveaway we're going to be doing in the next week's live video. So that is over, it is on this channel. There is a Facebook group as well. It's a private group, so people can kind of have like that support group element. It's really, not that it's exclusively women, but it definitely is like a, you know, primarily female support group. And it's, I would say women supporting women, but it's definitely like people supporting people. Like it's super welcoming. It's very inclusive. If you're not familiar at all with tarot or crystals or moon phases, it's a great introductory like level. It's a safe place to ask questions. We have PDFs on like that I've put together on different crystal types or the importance of different symbols if you're doing as you graduate, and if you wanted to do your own spell work and where to start with those things. So I'm going to try not to go too into that because I'm really glad that you watched my makeup video. Check out that video if you'd like to. I have a lot of different content on this page, and I'm really trying to diversify and show the full range of like, I'm not just beauty, I'm not just makeup, I'm not just like a jewelry person, I'm not just gaming, because I did that for a little while. I'm basically trying to show like, this is, you know, I'm me, I have this full range of interests, and I don't want to showcase too much of one thing, and I don't want to like shoehorn myself. So I don't want you to shoehorn yourself either. Do not put yourself in a box. Don't let anybody put you in a box. And that's the most important takeaway from this video. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.